Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be talking a lot about Tesla stock, the reason why I love this stock and why I think it's worth its current value, and we'll also just be discussing the recent movements that have occurred with this stock, and especially today with it being up 8.12% right now. So it's at over $1,200 per share, which is an absolutely insane value considering that we were at $800 per share just a few weeks ago. And I mean insane as in like in a good way. It's just crazy to see this happening with this stock. And it's something that I knew would eventually happen. I didn't know it would happen this fast, but I'm definitely glad to see it. But anyways, on a side note, if you do enjoy these types of videos where I talk about Tesla stock, this is my favorite stock to talk about. It's just such an interesting company. And if you enjoy these types of content just revolving around Tesla, then just make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out and it shows me that you enjoy this content. But just looking at the portfolio so far before we jump into looking at Tesla, I'm currently up 3.92%, or about $3,661 for today for the portfolio in total. As you can see, the majority of these gains for today so far are because of Tesla stock. And if we go ahead and look at the charts for this today, it is currently up 7.99%. So this is a huge gain for today, considering that yesterday it was up like another 4 to 5%. So let's go ahead and check out how much Tesla has gained just within the past week so far. And if you take a look at it, we're up 21.47%, which is absolutely crazy. That's 2 years worth of growth in an index fund or an ETF like VOO. So to achieve this much growth just within the past week is absolutely crazy to see. I'm definitely excited about it. I knew this would eventually happen. 1,200 is just a smaller number in the long-term vision, in my opinion. I think this stock could be a multi-$1,000 stock in just a year or two. And by multi-thousand, I don't even mean just like $2,000. I'm talking more than $2,000. I think $2,000 could come up a lot sooner than some people think, unless there's just another general stock market crash, which it will pretty much affect every stock in the stock market. But I really do think Tesla is on its way to grow even more in the future. There might be some volatility in the meantime. As we know, the volatility with Tesla stock is just something that you have to get used to. You have to have some mental fortitude to just know to not stress about that, because the long-term vision is what matters for this stock and this company. So just addressing a few things, I think the reason this stock is up so much today is, for one thing, it's a little bit hype built off of yesterday's growth, and I think a lot of people are trying to jump on the train and make some money. And as we know, there are definitely going to be some short sellers jumping in on this maybe today as well. So that is something to consider for the future. There's a lot of people buying for the long term, but there are some short sellers as well that are just looking for some short-term gains. But the main reason that this stock has just absolutely skyrocketed today, the reason that it's up this much at like 7.5%, is because the delivery numbers were released for Q2 of 2020. So I'll go ahead and jump over to the article releasing these numbers. And if you take a look at this, it mentions that 90,650 Tesla vehicles were delivered in the second quarter, beating Wall Street expectations as the electric car makers' sales withstood the economic downturn better than most competitors. So this is huge. Not only did they hit that 90,000 number, but they also beat expectations as well, which is what really matters in terms of the stock value and just the Tesla growth and share value in the stock market. So that's really what makes movements in the stock market, when you beat analyst expectations and Wall Street expectations. That's what kind of news really makes stock prices grow. And so given all of this, these delivery numbers are huge because, as we know with the whole Rona situation, there's been a lot of doubt on Tesla in terms of deliveries because we've had the shutdown in Alameda County at the Fremont factory. There was a bunch of controversy over Elon Musk with the ventilators, and there's just been a lot of things that Elon Musk has had to overcome this past quarter, especially with the pandemic being such a threat to their business. And Elon and everybody that works for Tesla made sure that they were able to beat expectations, at least on these deliveries. We still have to see if they beat earnings per share for Q2 of 2020. So it says expected July 22nd. So that's something that we have to pay attention to as well. And it's definitely going to have an effect on the movement of this stock when that news is released. But the delivery numbers itself, that's huge. A lot of people are thinking that Tesla is going to be profitable this quarter. I definitely think that's possible as well. well. However, even in the case that they aren't profitable, I don't think it's an issue. And if the market reacts negatively to that, then I'll simply just buy more shares because I know that's an opportunity for the long-term future with this stock. And honestly, sometimes not making a profit isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing because it points to businesses scaling production. So for example, you have Amazon where sometimes they don't make a profit, but it's just because they're scaling their business and they're reinvesting every single bit of the money that they gain right back into their company and into their business to grow it even more, and then eventually make even larger profits in the future. So when they scale businesses like that, even if they don't make a profit, it's really to just secure even more money in the long term as they build the business even larger. And that's one thing that I just never really understood as like a negative reaction on a company not making profits, because it doesn't always mean it's a negative thing. Sometimes it definitely does, but when they're scaling their businesses like Google and Amazon does, then it can be very beneficial for the company in the long term. And you just have to have that long-term mindset to understand that profitability is not always a good thing. So just to give my thoughts about how I feel about this stock price currently, I know I may be in the minority on this, but I honestly believe that if you have a long-term vision in terms of investing in Tesla for, let's say, over the next 40 years, then buying right now is still not a bad price in my opinion. And keep in mind, nothing that I say is to be considered financial advice. This is me just giving my thoughts and opinions about the stock market and stocks like Tesla. But in my opinion, I would only consider $1,200 a bad share price for Tesla if you weren't investing for the long term, if you were just looking for some short-term gains, because buying at this point could be pretty risky considering that it has grown significantly lately, and it's really just not a good idea to short Tesla in my opinion. People have lost millions and millions of dollars trying to short Tesla, and that's honestly one of the big reasons why Tesla has a lot of critics, because people are angry that they shorted the stock and that it's still performing much better than they expected, and they lost out on a lot of money because of it. And there's just always going to be people that don't believe in Tesla. For some reason, they highly dislike Elon Musk and Tesla, and they just want to see this company fail. And honestly, that's just such a bad mindset, because if you actually do some research and digging on the information about this company in terms of their delivery numbers, what they're doing, how they have multiple businesses under the umbrella of Tesla. I mean, they basically have their own NVIDIA. They have a computer chip team where they created their own computer chip from scratch. It's in-house built. It's not like they're sourcing from another company like Intel or NVIDIA or AMD. They made their own computer chip for the full self-driving technology. So Tesla is so much more than just a car company. They're a lithium-ion battery producer, they're software developers, they're firmware developers, they're vehicle designers, computer chip producers, and just so much more. And I think that's something that people really need to realize. Elon Musk has emphasized this before, that Tesla is basically just a bunch of Silicon Valley startups. So I think once people finally start realizing that Tesla is not a one-trick pony, then they'll finally understand why this stock is still growing, because Tesla bears are missing out on seeing the potential with this stock right now, and especially with them trying to short it or not even buying it at all. As you all know, I'm a huge Tesla bull, and that's because I've done my research on this stock and I truly believe in it in the long term, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm not going to sell even when it hits all-time highs like this. Even at $1,200, it has gone up like 22% just within the past week, and I'm still not going to sell it because I think it's going to be a large value stock in the long term if I hold this until retirement. And like I've mentioned before, people just don't realize, a lot of people don't understand this, that Tesla is just so much more than a car company, and it doesn't stop at vehicles. They're a solar business, they're a grid power business, and I can only imagine on what they will expand on in the future just in terms of the other business sectors out there. And I don't think they're limited to one category such as automobiles. They're just so much more than that, and their revenue will definitely show in the future that they are, in my opinion. It's just going to take some time for them to keep on growing their business even more. It took a while for Amazon to get as big as it is, but I truly think that Tesla is the next Amazon. And honestly, when I think of all of the stocks in the stock market and all of these companies, and I think of innovation, Tesla is one of the first companies that comes to mind. And innovation is what builds companies. Just ask Apple with the iPhone. So in my opinion, this stock is still at a reasonable value to purchase if you are here for the long term. If you're just looking for some short-term gains, or even if you're just looking to trade it within the next year or so, $1,200 may be a bit too high for you. It may be at a premium for that. But in my opinion, if you're looking at this in terms of a long-term investment and a long-term vision that you have with this company, then I still think that $1,200 is very reasonable still. Yes, it's at a premium right now, and there may be some volatility in the meantime over the next few weeks or so, but in the long term, I truly think that Tesla will not disappoint, and Elon Musk definitely won't either. But anyways, just running through the gain statistics for today before I end this video, we are currently up 8.47%, and today's return for Tesla is at $3,181. And so far for the total return, I'm at plus 44.78% or plus $12,717. So the thing that I love about this is that I've been preaching in many videos that Tesla is one of the best stocks out there to buy, in my opinion. And even back when it was like $830 per share, people thought it was way too high even back then. And I tried to emphasize that sometimes these stock prices may seem that they're at a premium or at a high point, but in the future, as an investor, you're likely to look back on a stock that performs well and think, man, I know that was at a premium, but I still should have bought it back then. I can't believe it was that cheap. And that's exactly what people are thinking of right now. If I had more money, I would have purchased even more at the $830 price tag, but I spent every single penny that I had on Tesla and Microsoft stock, and I'm out of money right now. So until I get more money, I can't purchase more Tesla stock, but I'm most likely going to be dollar cost averaging even more money into Tesla, even at this $1,200 price tag per share. So in my opinion, Tesla is still a solid buy. And I'm very satisfied with this 45% gain just within like the past 4 or 5 months or so, because I don't think I even started getting into buying Tesla stock until like February or March. But anyways, I just wanted to share my gains for this stock today, and of course talk about my opinion about this stock's current price as well. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out. Also, feel free to use my referral link in the description to Robinhood and Webull, and if you sign up with my link, then we'll both get some free stocks. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and happy early 4th of July.